Hello, everybody. Corey here. Just a reminder, I am not a qualified licensed investment. I can't even talk. I am not a qualified licensed investment or financial advisor. All I'm doing is gathering data and presenting it to you to make your own decisions. And then YieldMax ETFs are extremely risky. These risks are identified on their website, and these are income ETFs and not growth ETFs. So we're going to go into the trades and the holdings for Monday, May 13th, which was actually yesterday. Yesterday and last night, I was trying to catch up on videos where I've been behind since I didn't go outside and work in the yard. And I think I was actually doing videos till 4 o'clock this morning, and I still didn't get around to doing these. So I apologize. However, these are my least watched videos, and I don't know why. I cover 20 ETFs, or the trades and the holdings, and do a daily roundup and everything for 20 of the YieldMax ETFs in one video. So not really sure. Feel free to let me know. But I do know some people, watch these religiously. So I just wanted to try to get through this as quick as possible, as I'm on my lunch break, for those that do want to watch this, though it may only be a handful of you. So anyway, here we go. It's 12:32. Let's see how. It's still going to be hard trying to talk through 20 of these, which means I will show some data on the screen that I won't necessarily talk about, and I won't go into what does all of these mean and everything else. So if you are new to the channel and, I'm sorry, just comment below. I'll make sure I explain some things in my next video. I am going to make this a little bigger just so we can try to get through this with the least amount of scrolling when looking at the holdings here. So we're going to jump right in here. AIYY did not have any trades. We have a short call that expires this Friday at 24.50, and we are over that strike price, and we're even further over that today. So anyway, just a reminder, you can see how this affects the share price in column AB, and then we have the possible upside in column AC. If it's different over there, of course, in this case, we don't have an upside. But if there's something that I need to maybe average or give you my opinion on, I'll let you know that. But otherwise, I'm not going to really read through those, and we're just going to go through these short calls and see where we're at, and the trades. And I guess we have some synthetics expiring this week, so we'll be doing that too. So anyway, we're going to move on to AMDY. I don't know, no trades. And then we have two short calls that expired this Friday, 157.50 and 160. So we're underneath those 4 and 6%. Looking over on the right, it does show a 51 and 30. But, the majority of our contracts are sitting at that 157.50. They're sitting here. So, so we got 51 cent, maybe a little bit more. It just depends on the market value. Because, again, as it goes above this strike price, this is going to start going negative. But this will also be positive. This will be positive some. That'll be negative. So there could be a little bit of upside there. It just depends. And you'll see that throughout. So I'll just give you about an idea there. But anyway, we're going to move on to AMZ. You can see that we have some trades here. They added 140 contracts to the synthetic position. And then they added... they created two new short calls for this week with the strike prices of 187.50 and 190. I did check the outstanding shares, or all of the contracts here, and those dollar amounts, those quantities do match up. But anyway, we have four short calls that expired this week: 187.50, 190, 192.50, and 195. We were under those from 0 to 4%. As far as upside goes, I'd go with the possibility of the 9 cents over there, only because almost all of our contracts are at that first strike price. If we move on to Aptly here, we had people buy in here, so you can see they've added 75 contracts to the synthetic and created a new short call. So short calls that expired this week, 185 and 187.50. We are over the 185 as of close yesterday, but the majority of the contracts are sitting at the 187.50. So we're looking at about an 11 cent upside there. Coney, we have lots of things going on here. They this is not right. I don't know why I did not check these this morning, but this should not say new. So let's look real quick. Yeah, so what I failed to do, I guess last night is or this morning, I failed to change this formula. So what they would have done is added to that synthetic position with the 5/17 expiration date, even though we're way up underneath it, which that's how they actually brought in a lot of money, though, in premium because of that. So they did add to those synthetic positions there. So with that said, this new and existing column may not be 100% accurate, but honestly, at this point, I'm not going to take the time to just go back. Either way, they made trades, right? I just usually like to see personally. But you can see those trades that happen, and then we have 6 short calls here. 207.50, 210, 212.50, 220, and 220, 250, and 225. So we're anywhere from 4 to 11% below these. However, our majority of our contracts, over 20,000 of them, are sitting at the 212.50. So I would say that, where's my little pointer? That $1.16 would probably be pretty much our cap. And I don't know, we'll see about this because we're way up underneath this synthetic. As you can see, the stock is down. The net assets is down, about $135 million, and the stock price is down roughly $6 due to this already. So it's not looking good this week for Coney. Too bad it wasn't closed out weeks ago. But anyway, we're going to move on down to Dizzo. We have no trades here. We do have the synthetic expiring this week. We're currently underneath that by 12%. And then we have the short call that we're under by 1%. If we move down to Phoebe, we have no trades. We have a short call at the strike price of $4.85 that expires Friday, and we're currently underneath that by 4%. And then we have GUI here. So GUI actually had some that they closed out. So let's look. So they closed out of the short call with a strike price of $175, and they changed it to, it looks like they just closed this one and made it $172.50. Oh, you know what? And this is what I get for rushing through this. This is the one that had an error on it, an issue. So what I also didn't do is go back and check to see if errors were fixed. But this was one of those. So these other 3 were the 80 where people just bought into this. So now they all match 22.90. So whether the other was, valid, not valid, whatever, it at least got our numbers back. So stuff like that could make our numbers off. But we had the 172.50 strike price, in which as of yesterday we were 2% below that strike price. JPMO, we have no trades here. We have 2 short calls that expired this week, 197.50 and 200. As of yesterday, we were 1% over the 197.50, which is almost half of our contracts, and we were 1% below the 200. So I don't know about how much upside we would get here with this one. I mean, there is a little bit more contracts at the 200, but we would get a little bit there possibly. So Murney, go down here, we see that we have 40 additional contracts for these. So if we look at our 2 short calls for this week, we have a 125 strike price and a 131, and 125 we're already over by 1%, at least as of yesterday, which is where the majority of our contracts are. So not looking like really much of possible upside there, or there's no upside for the short call anyway. MSFO, no trades. We do have the synthetic and short call that expires Friday. The stop price was about $1 below the short call for the 0% there, and then we're 3% below the synthetic price. So maybe about a 7 cent upside there, possibly. And then we have at Misty here, we have an additional 31 contracts, 4 short calls that expire this Friday: 12.80, 13.10, 13.35, 13.65 strike prices, which we were under yesterday, anywhere from 3 to 9%. We were close to that 12.80 earlier today, so I'm not sure. That is also where the majority of our contracts are. So I would say, about a 76 cent possible upside with that. Definitely no trades. We do have the synthetic and short call that expires this Friday. It looks like we have a 635. Well, we're 3% underneath the synthetic position, and our short call of 630, we were underneath that by 2% there. And you can see the rest of the numbers. Okay, so NVIDIA. So we did have a NVIDIA closeout, which it looks like they probably just rolled that synthetic. Okay, here we go. So yeah, they had the synthetic that expired this week with a 9.15 strike price. Man, yeah, I mean, they did decent yesterday. Earlier, it was like at least up to 908. I don't know where we were, but you never know what's going to happen from day to day, right? Better safe than sorry. But anyway, they rolled it to July from a 9.15 to a 900 strike price there. Ended up costing almost $12.6 million to do so. And then those just show what we just talked about there. So we have the 9.20 strike price for the short call, which were underneath by 2% yesterday. And then we have our new synthetic. We're going to move on to OARC here. We have 2 short calls that expired this Friday, and yeah, we're over the first, or almost over the second, and we possibly are today. But our synthetic here, we're also underneath that by 12% as of yesterday, and it expires this Friday. So not much upside there with those shares being 50-50 between those, but could be just a little bit, only because our synthetic, that coming up too. So it could be a few cents, I'm not sure. Which then makes me curious. I know I'm rushing trying to get through this, but I never actually have time to go back and see how these possible upsides really work, or how they affect. Because usually it's towards the end of the week, not in the middle of the week, and they're already doing trades, and it changes things. So actually, I don't know if they made any. Well, they might have made some trades today. I don't know. Not knowing that, anyway, OARC is up right now today, 16 cents. So I tried to think about that tonight when I see if they did any trades or not, or if it was able to go up that much because of the synthetic also there. But anyway, we're going to move on. PayPay, no trades. Short call expires this Friday, $65 strike price. Those percentages are clearly wrong. I had to go back and, I didn't save these. Yeah, I had to go back because since I forgot to save the data last night for these, I had to change every single freaking formula because it was pulling, now today's data, and that's not what we were wanting. So there we go. I put PayPay instead of PayPal. So our synthetic, 65. Our short call is 65. And yesterday we were below that by 2%. Can't say that's the case today. SQUE here, our synthetic and our short call expire on Friday. We were 4% below the short call strike price yesterday, and 13% below our synthetic strike price. So that was bringing the stock down a lot. I don't know if they'll try to close that out today or not, with it trying to be a green day, but we will see. Tesla, no trades here. We have 2 short calls that expire Friday, 172.50 and 175. We're barely underneath the first one, and then the majority contracts are at 175, and we were underneath that by 2%. However, I do know today, the last time I saw this, Tesla was up 178. So Of course, we were underneath our synthetics on both of these also. Yeah, right now we're at 177. So this shows a possibility of upside of, I don't know, I guess if I was just doing it, I would guess maybe, 15, 20 cents. Of course, I have a moving target over here with this keep going up and down. So far today, we have actually gone up, well, as of this second, 25 cents. So we did have 2 synthetic positions up there that were underneath the strike prices, and then these over here. So, and then of course it's all based on market value, not necessarily just the stock price itself. And our calculations here based off the strike prices. And then of course you have volatility in there. But anyway, let's move on. So Zomo here, they added 55 contracts to the data here, the existing things, short calls and synthetic. Both of these expire on Friday, and we are 2% below the synthetic strike price, and we were just right there at the short call, just a few cents shy of that. So I'm curious. Zomo is actually less than that, so it didn't go up like a lot of these other ones. So it has actually gone down about 80 or so cents right now. But it wasn't going to be much upside here anyway. It does show that it has gone up 3 cents today, though. So I guess the synthetic in the end ended up being worth, well, no, because it went down. I guess it's because also the other thing I didn't mention the last one is we're getting closer also to the expiration date, because that makes a factor too. There's so many factors, right? But anyway, and let's go to our short here. So we have crash. We have 3 short puts. 2 of them expire this week and 1 next week. We have 162.50, 167.50, and then 162.50 for next week. And of course, we're going in the opposite direction for this one right now. So like I said, I did not change these down here. So these are actually reflecting yesterday's close of 171, and then where this was before I copied and pasted it. So this data is actually not accurate here with this one. So we did have trades on this one. So you see they added 23 contracts to here, but they did not add 23 contracts to the long call. So they always do the synthetic, the short put, and the long call. They match, right? And this is the first time they haven't done the long call. So I don't know if it just didn't show up on the trades, or if it happened or didn't happen, or if it was just an error that it didn't make it to the trades. Therefore, it didn't make it to the custodian either to be able to add it to the holdings. So we'll check on that tonight and see how that goes. But anyway, and I won't even look at the prices below. Hopefully, y'all are able to get something out of this for the handful of people that will actually watch this today. But anyway, I will talk to y'all later. Thanks. Bye.